Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way. Long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, long shit, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit, gotta get the shit long, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, yeah. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand sometimes we got hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done talking. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah. We gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get this shit the long way, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah. Cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah. We gon' get the long way, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you guys today? Welcome. Welcome to the channel if you're new. My name is LJ Young, the founder of SMD, SavingsMinusDebt, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I'm here to share my gift, and my gift is the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. Now, if you've never heard that before, which I'm sure you haven't, because I'm doing something that's never been done before. If you believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage, I want you to open up your calculator and put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and then hit equal. As you're looking at the calculator, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice. The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. You can see them physically because you're looking at your calculator now. Now, I'm going to tell you why you cannot see it. It's because you live in the debt matrix. And the debt matrix was created by the central banks. They created it, okay? They created the debt matrix. So what happens is, since you live there, first of all, the calculator doesn't work in the debt matrix. It just doesn't, it doesn't work there. It looks like it works, but it doesn't. What happens is that, because the only way to buy a house is with cash, but you have no money to buy a house, so you have to do what is called financing. And when you're in the debt matrix is a place where you can buy things and own things with no money of your own. None of it makes mathematical sense, but you still believe you're in the positive. That's why you can't see, because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. All right. And this is my gift. I had to earn this gift because I lived in the debt matrix before too. Before I woke up, I didn't know I was in the debt matrix. I was a six-figure earning slave, sure was. 40-hour work week, all that stupid nonsense, all of it is all a program. Until I woke up, actually the banks woke me up, but until I woke up one day, and let me kind of tell you what triggered me to wake up. When I got denied a loan with good credit, six-figure earning job, all that, everything, everything I was required to do in order to have good credit, pay my bills on time, make a good figure salary, always, keep paying my debts back on time in a timely fashion, never late, until one day they told me no. Now, when they told me no, they pointed to this thing called debt to income ratio. They pointed me to, and it says, this is why we're telling you no. So I go through and read it. I didn't really understand debt to income ratio until I hit the debt to income ratio wall. Now, normally when you hit that wall, the next big explanation is, well, you're almost in bankruptcy. That's why, you're about to file bankrupt because your debt to income ratio is just too high. But then I was like, okay, yeah, I know about that explanation, but this is what's not making any sense to me. I followed all the rules, but this time you're telling me no. I said, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. I followed all your rules, and this time you're telling me no. I said, that just doesn't make sense. So I started typing in debt to income ratio to get the meaning. But you got to remember, since you guys don't understand that capitalism is psychological, you don't understand the meaning that you're getting is put there by the banks. They put that answer there. So when you look it up, it's going to tell you what the meaning of debt to income ratio according to them. But as I was typing in the debt to income ratio, by typing in the word debt, I came across this dude named Dave Ramsey. This man named Dave Ramsey, not a dude, a man. And I started listening to him. I had to remove all the color barrier where he's from, because it's weird. When you're in the debt matrix, you got this program running because you guys think that money is somehow got something to do with color and race. And I'm telling you, it doesn't. The only reason why you're saying that is because you're in debt. That's why you talk like that. None of that is true. None of it. This is what it sounds like when you associate race to money. Hey, if I said to you, hey, 1 + 1 = 2, and you turned to me and said, oh, he only knows that because he's black. See how stupid that sounds? That's how it sounds when you get outside the debt matrix. Anyway, I started listening to him, and basically, long story short, he says, hey, apply the math that we all learned in grade school, Well, he didn't say that because he's a church going guy. That's just me adding that. Apply what you learned in grade school using these baby steps to your personal finances. And that's what I did. And then I was like, it cannot be that easy. And that's what I did. And until I got to zero, I didn't know I was a debt slave because I had been in debt all my life. I thought debt was part of life. No, it's not. That's a psychological trip. Capitalism is psychological. Debt is not part of life. That's part of the program for you to believe that. But I didn't know that until I got to zero. Once I got to zero, things started coming to me. Now, what I'm telling you today, that capitalism is psychological, I didn't get to zero and realize what I just said to you. This is like 6-7 years later, me finding the answer that capitalism is psychological. No currency exists for debt slaves. None. Zero. You don't even know you're in debt. You can't own anything with no debt. You can't do that. The only way to buy something is cash. There is no other way to buy anything in the United States of America. You have to have your own money. Now, fast forward to today. To have such a gift that can change millions of lives, generations of lives. You know what it's like to carry such a gift, just walking around knowing I know the answer to capitalism? Now, remember, I want you guys to understand something so you guys don't think I'm bragging about something, okay? I discovered this. I discovered it. What that means is that it was all capitalism was already in place before I was born. You guys know, just look back. It started like 1900. I wasn't born until 1969. Capitalism was already here, and I was born into it. You know what kind of you guys don't even get it. You know what kind of brain power, what kind of intelligence that could think of such a thing, make it psychological and make you guys not even know you're in debt, not even know you're in debt slaves. You know, sometimes I'm thinking this is just my opinion, okay? This is just my opinion because I see things differently knowing what I know today. I think back in physical slavery. The wealthy became wealthy off of free labor because of slavery. Now, when slavery came to an end, did you guys really think the wealthy were just going to stop being wealthy? No. Slavery was, I'm sure, it was very powerful in wealth building. So somebody thought of something to change it. Hey, we need slavery still, but physical slavery is illegal. Then let's make it psychological. Who comes up with that? Psychological is more profitable because it doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, where you live, young, old, it doesn't matter. As long as you guys understand, and I'm gonna tell you something, the wonderful thing about psychological capitalism, it's a choice. You choose to trust the calculator or you don't. If you don't, that's your problem. That's your problem. Do you know you could do you know you could be wealthy if you had no debt with a paid off house and just a regular job? Do you know you could be rich just having a regular job with no debt and a paid off house? Having a regular job, you could be rich. But in the debt matrix, millions of people believe they're homeowners with mortgages, millions. Now, to have this gift, I must accept psychological capitalism cannot work without unconscious debt slaves. Without you, debt slaves, none of this could work without you. None of it. You are the engine to the economy, and you're there by choice. You're volunteering to be there by not trusting the calculator. Mm. To carry such a gift, man, it's very I'm not going to say it's heavy because because I had to earn this gift. I know something that millions of people don't know. What I'm telling you guys today, I've never heard nobody come up to me and say psychological capitalism. I probably wouldn't even understood what they meant. What do you mean by that? What's the what? No currency is real for debt slaves? No. What do you mean? I'm holding paper money in my hand. Is it really there? According to who? You or the calculator? I'll show you guys. So you guys, if you're new to the channel, I want you to do this so you can understand something, okay? No currency, not even, let's put it this way. Paper money doesn't even exist for you. Doesn't even exist. Even if you have some in your pocket, and I'll show you so you guys can understand everything I say, I can prove. Understand this. Everything I say, I can prove. Now pull some money out of your pocket. Imagine pulling $20 out of your pocket. If you have it, it'd be better physically. Any denomination, it doesn't matter. Pull it out of your pocket and hold it in your hand. With your other hand, I want you to open the calculator app on your phone. Open up your calculator app. Then I want you, in your calculator, I want you to put in 20 minus your monthly car payment and hit equal. Now, as you're looking at the calculator, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice. Does the calculator say you have $20 in your hand? What does the calculator say? Now, you got to think to yourself, one second. Now you got to think to yourself, which one do I believe? The calculator or the $20 in my hand? No, and I'm gonna give you a hint. The calculator's never ever wrong, ever. If you don't believe the calculator, by default, that makes you wrong. So which one do you believe? The $20 in your hand or the calculator? Now imagine handing me that same 20. Imagine you handing it from your hand to my hand. Now I physically have it. Clear your calculator, and this is what I want you to put in your calculator, okay? I want you to put in $20 minus no car payment and hit equal. Does the calculator say I have $20 in my hand? It sure does. It sure does. I hand it straight back to you. Guess what? It disappears. According to who? The calculator. You guys understand this is a superpower. Once you get out of the debt matrix and you own yourself, in order to work in a psychological capitalism, what did I name this? Yeah, psychological capitalism. If you want to, you have to have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. You have to. That's a requirement. And how do you do that? You must own yourself first. To participate on this side of the economy, step one, you have to own yourself. This is what makes it a superpower. Me and people like me walk around every day hearing you guys speak what's called slave-splaining. You're saying things that make absolutely no mathematical sense at all, and you don't even know it. Why? Because it's psychological. Believing you can own things with no money. You have any money? When you go buy a house, this is all you got to do. If you want to just believe the calc, this is all you got to do. If you're trying to figure out if you're ready for a house or not, this is the easiest thing to do. Log into your bank account and see. Log into your bank account and say, do I have enough money to buy a $350,000 house in cash? No, then stop looking. You have no money. You don't have to run through a whole bunch of numbers and calculations and see if you can afford this. No, you just log into your bank account and see if you have the cash for the house. If you don't, if you look in your bank account and clearly see that you don't have enough money, but you decide you want a house anyway, you live in the debt matrix because you can't do that. Accepting that the majority, but this is the big thing. I'm blazing a trail that has never been blazed before. Now I'm not saying I'm the master of all, because again, I discovered it. It was already here in place. I'm just found it. That means I didn't make it. But I'm talking about the delivery of my gift. I have never seen anybody deliver a gift the way I do and can prove it. Can prove no currency. Like, here, let me go back to the currency thing. I'm going to show you guys that no currency exists for you at all. Now let's go back to the $20 thing, okay? Let's go back to the $20 thing, that example. Remove the $20 bill. You can imagine in your head, because it's all psychological for you guys, all of it. Remove the 20, replace it with $20 worth of gold. The amount doesn't matter, just $20 worth of gold. Does the calculator change? $20 worth of gold minus your car payment equals what? What's the calculator say? You ain't got no gold in your hand. Replace that with silver, same thing. Replace that with Bitcoin, same thing. Replace that with NFTs or whatever you guys want to imagine in your heads, whatever. The calculator will not change. The calculator doesn't care what you put in your hand. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? This is why it's a superpower. You can't see me or people like me walking amongst you. You don't have no idea. We look just like you. Have you ever seen an alien? You know, the ones they show you on TV. Have you ever seen one in person? We don't look like that. You know what an alien is? Somebody that knows something millions of people don't know. That's what an alien is. We look just like you. But when I'm out in public, you think I'm going to say anything? Hell no, I ain't going to say anything unless I'm up on stage. You know what it's like to be able to change generations with a gift, such a gift. But at the same time, you know, in order for it to work, the majority must remain in debt and psychologically don't know that they don't own anything. Nothing. You guys own nothing. Now, now I do understand people my age, this will be a very tough pill to swallow. A huge financial red pill, because there's nothing like this financial red pill, SMD red pill. I don't want you guys to ever mix up the thousands, the millions and thousands of definition of red pill out there. This is the red pill, period. SMD red pill. There is no other red pill like this one. This one will change your entire life. You guys listen to my voice. Does it look like I'm making this shit up? No, I'm not. Now that I own myself, there are no limits. Do you understand? There are no limits. The only person is in my sights is Tony Robbins. Why? Because he's the biggest motivational speaker in the fucking world. Why would I look at anybody below him? Okay, I'll just watch him. I already know my gift. You guys don't even get it. Once Tony Robbins hears me, once he hears me speak, he's going to reach out to me. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm better than him or I can, no, I can help him help people hear him better by helping them own themselves first. When you own yourself and then you listen to motivational speakers, it's totally different. Motivational speakers help you believe in yourself. SMD helps you own yourself. In order to own yourself, you must believe in yourself. See how it ties together? That's why he's going to end up reaching out to me, because it'll help him and vice versa. Not just using him to say, oh, I'm going to use him so I can get notoriety. No, he will know I will be able to help him too. And then once you're outside the debt matrix and then you look at our economy, it'll be totally different. Taxes are not evil. Taxes are not bad. The IRS isn't always after you, lurking and being scared of audits. No, if you just follow the rules, you won't have to worry about any of that. The IRS agents are the referees of our economy to make sure you ain't cheating. It's to make sure you ain't cheating. That's why they're there. Just like the referees of a fucking football game. Why do you think the referee's there? For cheaters. Imagine the game if the referees wasn't there. Can you imagine? And they got 4 referees, or I don't really watch sports, but I'm assuming 4 referees per game for a football field. Out of all those players, 4 of them are supposed to watch every single thing a player does on the field. That is the same thing. But once you understand how it works, you'll know to follow the rules. You don't have to know them. All you got to do is this is all you got to do. Okay. If you want your taxes straight personally or business, this is what you go do. You go find a tax professional who is personally debt free. And you're probably going to ask, well, Linnell, how do I ask him that question? You ask him just the way I told you to ask him. You say, hey, are you personally debt free? I don't care how they feel about it, but the ones that are personally debt free, they will know. They will be shocked first because number one, I guarantee you, out of all of their business years, they will have never had a client come up there and ask them that question ever. That's what's going to shock them. But if they are personally debt free, they will tell you, yes, I am. Yes, I am personally debt free. And then they're going to turn to you and say, well, who told you to ask me that question? You tell them SMD sent me. You say just like that, SMD sent me. Who is SMD? And then they're going to look me up. There's probably, you know what, sometimes I think about there's probably some tax professionals that have been personally debt free all their life because it just makes sense, but they don't realize the advantage that they have over over other tax professionals who are in personal debt because they're totally missing something. If you're a tax professional and you've been in personal debt all your life, I'm telling you right now, you are missing a huge piece of the puzzle, ginormous. The psychological piece of it all. There's a physical piece, well, it looks like a physical piece, and then there's a psychological piece. This is the piece millions of debt slaves don't know about because you guys just think debt is part of life. That's why you'll never see it because you don't own yourself. You're probably thinking, well, who owns me? Because remember, here with this gift, I'm gonna just point you to it. It's totally up to you to believe it or not. Okay. Your credit report is what's called it's an owner's ledger. You log into your online credit report, go in there, skip over the credit score part, okay? Skip over that bullshit and go deep into the credit report. Some of you guys are pages. All those businesses listed inside of your credit report, they all own a piece of you. Until they get their money back, they own you. Even when you say, fuck it, I ain't paying them, they ain't getting shit. I'm gonna take it to my dead body. I'm gonna die with it. They ain't getting nothing. Do you know when you do that, that makes them more money? Do you understand? It's called interest. You guys will be paying them your entire lives. Do you understand that? You will be paying them. And if you're paying somebody in your entire life, that means you don't own yourself. Like this student loan thing coming to an end in February. Oh, you could just feel, I can feel the energy from the collective of millions of you guys, 44 million of you guys, that collective energy. What am I going to do? I won't be able to afford this student loan payment. Oh man, the president can wipe this away with the swipe of his pen. He's not going to do that. Okay, stop that. In my opinion, I believe they just say that just to see how many of you guys beg for forgiveness. Just begging. It's embarrassing. You guys don't even know it's embarrassing. Begging for forgiveness. You did it. What are you talking? Who are you blaming? Who got the money? You were the president. You? Then you get out of it. You get the money and then blame somebody else. That doesn't even make any sense. When I see you guys doing that on social media, you read the comments, and then I have to take a step back to keep from judging. Listen, To keep from judging, I take a step back and say, it has to be that way. It has to be. They have to believe they're going to be a nobody if they don't go to college. And they don't, you guys don't even know you have no money. Of course you have to take out student loans. You have no money. Many of you guys don't even have $500 in your bank account your whole entire life. And then all of a sudden you think you're going to pay for college in cash? You're not. Of course you're taking out student loans. And even that, I want you guys to understand, because I respect the system. Even with student, and I'm not even saying student loans are invalid. I'm just saying if you go to college for 4 years, you give yourself a maximum of 4 years, and you need student loans, you give yourself a maximum of 4 years to pay it off. You don't go to college for 4 years and keep your student loans the entire life, and then you start congregating with your friends and think everybody has student loans, and then you make up in your mind, because you don't even understand. When you make up in your mind to say, I'm going to have student loans my entire life, do you know what you're saying? You don't even know what you're saying. You're saying you're accepting of being a slave until you're fucking dead. And the reason why you don't know you're a slave, because these chains are psychological. If the chains were physical, put it this way. If the chains were physical and you could see them and you were dragging them around with you every single day, and you knew the only way to get these chains off is to pay off all your debt, there would be nothing that would stop you from paying off your debt. You're like, I got to get these heavy ass things off. They're messing up everything. I can't do nothing. I'm scratching up my car. I'm ripping up my clothes. If they were physical, you couldn't do nothing. You couldn't go out to the club, have a drink. How you gonna pick up a wine glass? Chain's gonna hit and bust the glass every time. You can't put your arms on glass tables. Nothing would stop you from getting out of debt. But since these are psychological, you can't see them. Do you know how hard it is to see loved ones just burying themselves happy? Hey, I'm a homeowner. No, you're not. All over social media, you go into the comments, congratulations, you deserve it. You should do this. No, what do you mean? What deserve what? Either you have the money to buy the house or you're not. It ain't got nothing to do with deserve. Nothing. Did you save up the money to buy the house? Yeah, then you saved up the money to buy the house. No, only people that deserve to get a house are the people that can afford to buy them. I was again, when you step outside the debt matrix, this is a superpower. I was reading that James Brown's estate got sold for $90 million. $90 million. $90 million by a company, Music Wave or something like that. And I thought to myself, that's how generational wealth, because it takes generational wealth to purchase something for $90 million right off the bat. So you understand that. Okay. You have so much money, you can purchase other generational wealth. Now they own everything James Brown created. They own it. Now I think to myself, if I was James Brown and I was willed, say like I was his son and I was willed this estate, I could live off his estate for the rest of my life. I wouldn't even have to work. I wouldn't have to do nothing. And that James Brown music will live forever. This goes for sampling his music. This is forever. And it was sold. And the looks of the man, he's white. I mean, and I'm not bringing in his color for a reason. I'm just telling you something. The majority of black people will never know that his estate was sold. They just make a quick blurb about it and put it out there in Google land. Nobody talks about it. No YouTube channels that I know of have talked about it. generational wealth, buying other generational wealth, and joining it with their own. Took all of his work, all of what he did. Now it's theirs to create more generation. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. This is just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And I was like, wow, man. I was just blown away because I know for a fact when I read that, I know people don't look at it. The majority of people don't look at it the way I look at it. I promise you that. I just look at it, it's like, that's something you don't even need to sell. Exactly. This is what you guys see the majority of. A lot of YouTubers making videos about Joe Biden lied about student loan debt aid. The comment sections here, crazy people, mad payments. It's so, you know what you guys are, let me tell you guys something so you guys can understand that capitalism is psychological. You know, when you do that, you're just letting them know how deep in how much you've given up on paying off those student loan debt. Because if you were paying them off yourself, you wouldn't care. If you were serious about paying them off, you wouldn't care if Joe Biden was going to wipe them away or not. It doesn't matter. You're on the way of paying them off. But the majority of you are just, you guys have made up in your mind that you're not. Now you're shifting the blame to somebody else. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. That is never going to happen, ever. That's one, you think they're going to wipe away $1.7 trillion just like that? Say, okay, it's gone. No, they're not. They own 44 million debt slaves. They own them. You think they're going to just let you guys walk away? No, they're not. In my opinion, I think they just do that to see how many of you guys just beg and blame somebody, blame other people. Who was President Biden standing there when you signed up for student loan debt? No, then who are you? The only person that was there was you. All you got to do is go in the bathroom and look in the mirror. That's who you blame. That right there, you. And that same person in the mirror is the only person that's going to get you out of student loan debt. That person right there. So what you going to do about it? Now, what's crazy about my gift, I can give you the fucking blueprint. I don't care who you are. I can give you the blueprint. I say, hey, look, follow these steps and you will be like me. You guys don't even know your credit report lets everybody know about you. Anybody, listen, so you guys can understand the superpower. Anybody I decide to do financial business with, the requirement is going to see. The requirement is going to be for me to see your personal credit report. You know why? Because it's going to tell me how you've been financially treating yourself. Your personal credit report is going to tell me how you've been financially treating yourself. And if I look at it and you've been treating yourself financially bad, I'm not going to partner up with you. You going to treat me better than yourself? No, you're not. No, you're not. You guys don't know that. All I got to do is take one look at your credit report. I don't care what kind of car you, listen, this is the superpower. I don't care about your house, what kind of car you drive, where you live, what school your kids go to, how many, your vacations, all that. All I'm going to do is look at your credit report. And if your student loans, listen, if your student loans are older than everything you're showing the rest of the world, I already know that's a mathematical illusion because you can't buy anything with student loan debt. You can in the debt matrix. You can own property. You can own anything with no money. If you want to believe in cryptocurrency, you go right ahead. But this is what I strongly suggest you do, that those of you that are getting information from people to telling you to invest in cryptocurrency, this is all you got to do is ask them. You say, anybody suggesting you do that? You say, do you have student loan debt? Do you have car payments? Did you finance that phone? That's all you got to ask them. If they say yes to any of those questions, that's why they're telling you to invest in cryptocurrency. That's why they believe in something that doesn't exist, because paper money doesn't even exist for them. So that's how you can tell. You say, hey, man, they come up to you and say, hey, you should invest in Bitcoin. You turn to them and say, do you have a whole Bitcoin or do you have a Bitcoin crumb, a piece of it? If they didn't break Bitcoin up into Bitcoin crumbs, debt slaves couldn't play because they can't afford a whole Bitcoin. They have no money. That's why I just stay out of chats like that. I don't go into areas. I don't go into channels like that. To walk around and accept that the majority must be this way, it has to. For me, that's a hard pill to swallow, because I have to catch myself. I'm like, hey, if they don't get it, they just don't get it. And that's how it's supposed to be. John says, when I saw you post that about James Brown Estate, I was shaking my head and said, why did they sell that? Because if they were paying you 90 million for it, it's worth 10,000. That's exactly. In my opinion, I just think the people involved that are going to get the 90 million, they just want the money. It's more money that they ever had in their life. They don't really understand about generational wealth. You don't sell something like that. Put it this way, I guarantee you that right there, the James Brown Estate will probably never ever be in black owned hands again, ever. If they paid them 90 million for that, they know it's generational. That's forever, man. That's forever money. They're never selling that, ever. The only way that would be sold, they would have to have done something really, really bad financially to the IRS and forced to sell. Other than that, black hands will never see that again. That's gone. One person stated, how come you are not mad and demand car loan? What'd you say? One person stated, how come you are not mad and demand car loan and mortgage payment for getting? Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. What's up, Nick? Mr. Mitchell, Andre Lewis, Architect. What's up, everybody? One thing I must admit, though, I do love the gift I have. It's a superpower, and it's changing people's lives. It has changed many people's lives. That's how I know it's a gift. If it's a gift that actually changed a person's life forever. Because once I understood what capitalism is, I had a whole new respect for it. The design of it. And the only thing it had to come from the central banks. It had to, because they're at the top of the chain. So it had to come from them, right? Totally separate. And it was so crazy. Like when I was in the debt matrix, I never talked about the central banks ever. Didn't even know about them, what they really meant. I just knew you couldn't walk in and open a checking account, but I didn't really go past that. Once I got outside the debt matrix, now I clearly see the purpose of the central banks. They're all over the world. I have a whole different respect for it because it's all volunteer. Debt slaves volunteer to be debt slaves. When you get a student loan debt and don't pay it back, you're volunteering to be a debt slave. When you finance a car for 84 months, you're volunteering to be a debt slave. When you're investing in cryptocurrency, knowing you have student loan debt, you're volunteering to be a debt slave. Volunteering. When you go out and finance a TV, you're volunteering to be a debt slave. Volunteering, you financing a TV. And the majority of you debt slaves, you guys believe financing a cell phone is normal. I mean, listen to the sound of my voice, okay? If you're financing a cell phone, how in the hell do you think you could ever afford a house? If you can't even pay cash today for a cell phone, why would you believe that you could ever afford to buy a house? You can't. That's why it's psychological. Do you understand? The housing market couldn't exist without you guys financing houses and believe your homeowners. Do you understand? The housing market couldn't exist without you. Believing with a mortgage, you're not renting. That's important for you guys to believe it or not. That is important for you guys to believe, to talk down to renters while you have a mortgage, because you don't realize you're renting from the bank. That's the bank's house. That's not your house. You couldn't have got that house without the bank's help. So why would you think you own it? Because that's what you're programmed to think. Do you understand? You can't buy a house with no money. You can in the debt matrix, though. You can do that. You can buy land, cryptocurrency, all that stuff you guys think you can buy and while having student loan debt. Yes, you can do that in the debt matrix. Yes. When I stepped outside the debt matrix and realized that economic classes, they don't even exist. Upper class, middle class, lower class, you guys know they don't even exist. They don't even exist. The only two classes that exist, the debt class and the non-debt class. Those are the only two economic classes. Just two. So simple. This is all you got to do to determine which two of those classes you are in. Log into your online bank account. Log into your online credit report agencies, whatever, Experian, Credit Karma, whatever, right? Log into there. There's going to be a big old number that pops in your face when you first log in. You take that number and you put a negative in front of it, okay? Write it down on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, whatever, and put a negative in front of it. And then you look at the two classes I gave you, the debt class and the non-debt class. That number tells you which two of those classes you belong. So you take, even if you believe there's an upper class, middle class, or lower class, right? You take that number that I just showed you and to forget about the debt class and the non-debt class for a minute. Take those out and do upper, middle, lower, right? Take that number I just told you to get, and you tell me where in those economic classes does that number belong? Does that large negative number belong in the upper class, the middle class, or the lower class? What's up, Lessons Burn? It don't belong in any of them because they don't exist. LJ helped me out the matrix. I learned about negative numbers in school, and now I can see them in real life. Appreciate that, Nick. Nick knows, and I'm not even bragging. Nick knows I have changed his life, and he's in his 30s. Oh man, you guys are lucky. You see how hard I go right now? You guys are lucky I didn't understand this information in my 30s. Oh, I would have, man, because I know I'm blazing a trail. I'm doing something that has never been done before. Never. There are no YouTube videos I can watch to help me do. I mean, to tell me what I'm doing, because it's never been done before. Nobody. I've never heard nobody say capitalism is psychological. I've never heard that before, ever. You guys understand? I will, man, you guys don't even get it. You don't even get it. A lot of people think I'm just bragging. No, I know. And throughout my life, there has been, I remember watching a video of, I don't know if it was a sports player or I think it was that rest, I don't know. But anyway, I remember listening to this guy talking about what he was going to do. And you could just, and this none of this stuff he was talking about happened yet. But you could tell by the way he was speaking that it was going to happen. Now, as a regular person, if you don't own yourself, you don't believe in all that stuff, you just like, oh man, how's he know? There is no way he can know. But I'm telling you right now, I do know that I know something that millions of people don't know. Capitalism is psychological. I know that. So that I know that means I'm going to be known around the world. The only two economic classes are those in the debt and those are not in debt. Sure ain't. What's up, Andre? Luna says, hey, LJ. Brother, my house is 13 years ago, 189,000, and he say he still owned 300. He said, what now, my brother? Oh, bought his house 13 years ago for one. Okay, I got it. For 189. And he say he still owe 340,000. Oh. Do you see now? This is not abuse, okay? I want you guys to understand because you guys are choosing that, but I want you guys to see that. Do you see how the banks do you? You see how they do you? First of all, you guys don't know that you cannot own a house with no money. That's step one. Then they make you believe you can buy a house with no money, and then they make you believe it takes 30 years to pay off a house. Now they've changed that to 40 years. The next generation is going to naturally believe that it takes 40 years to pay off a house. Do you guys know that? That's absolutely brilliant. I'm like, how do you guys do that? Generations. $189 for the house. Now it's a 340. So you know what that says? That says I've refinanced this house several times. When I see a price like that, you guys don't know that amongst you guys that think you're homeowners with mortgages, right? You guys call each other owners all the time, even write it down on a piece of paper. I think the bank asks you that just to see if you know or not. Hey, are you a homeowner? You check yes. That tells them you don't know because they own the mortgage of the house that they're asking. It's just bananas how they do it. But are you a homeowner? Yes. With a mortgage, they know you have a mortgage and you check yes, they're gonna be like, okay, he don't know yet. He or she don't know yet. Okay, cool. We can continue to financially abuse them. But you guys don't know how many of you guys just refinanced your house several times. Believe if you're refinancing a house and paying off credit cards, you guys really believe you're paying off credit cards with the bank's money, with the bank's house. Saying his house is, look at that. Saying his house is worth 800,000. His house. You see how it works? He owes 340,000. The house is worth 800,000 to the bank. Shout out to Nick for the 1999 super chat. Thank you, sir. Salute LJ. I will be scheduling a consultation soon. I'm almost ready for life after zero. Okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about. See, a lot of you guys, I got a few clients that talk to me on a monthly basis because they don't have nobody they can talk to about life after zero, life after debt. Hey, LJ, I'm running into this. How do I handle it? Okay, this is what you do. And again, that's how I know this is a gift because they can't really go to anybody else. And I'm not even bragging about that. I'm just telling you what is. You can't, once you get life after debt, once you get out of debt, you can't talk to debt slaves about money anymore. Any financial investments, nothing. William says, I'm a mortgage broker. People don't understand debt, credit. It's a trap unless you're financially savvy. Correct. But it's way deeper than that, William. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. Nobody can. That's impossible. You cannot buy a house with a mortgage. A person coming into the bank, if you don't know that, listen, if you don't know that you cannot buy a house with a mortgage, the bank is going to financially abuse you. Say like this. Say like I wanted to go get a mortgage for a house, okay? Because I'm not against mortgages. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you something. Say like I went to go get a mortgage for a house, okay? I found a house. I had well, I would have 50%. Even though the next house I buy is going to be cash. I'm just giving an example, okay? Because I can't even imagine myself signing up for a mortgage, right? Anyway, I come up with 50% down on the house. They run my credit. They see I have no debt, because you guys think credit score, everything is about credit score. No, it's not. It's not. Okay. I promise you it's not. They're going to look at my personal credit reports, all three, and see I am in debt to nobody. And I'm putting $50,000 down on the house. They know they're not going to disrespect me with a mortgage that's not the best mortgage on the market. They're not going to disrespect me. You know why? Because they know that I know. I'm 52. Listen, I'm 52. If I walked up to a bank and they run my credit, I'm 52 years old, and they see I have no debt at 52, never been in trouble with the IRS, never been, tons of collections, none of that. They are going to know that I know. And they know if I'm there to get a mortgage, that was the last ditch effort I needed to do something. I was forced to get a loan, basically. Not literally forced, but you know what I mean. Hey, so crazy, Mr. Mitchell? That's normal. That's just, and I want you to understand that there are people, many people have said that to me over the years. Linnell, man, the way you talk about slave and this and that. I get it. I totally get it. It's a hard pill to swallow, but you can't walk away from the math. You can get angry, and then you look back at the math, you're like, but the math is right. Why am I? And then when you start doing that, it takes the focus off of me. And then you start seeing the math is right. You're like, why am I getting angry if the math is right? And then you start just kind of like coming over it. It just gets more and more. That's how it happens. You're right about that. I had a couple of friends go in with me on investing. I kept investing over months. They did just one time. Exactly. Exactly. What's up, big discussions? How you doing, sir? Dr. Anwar? Or was it Anwar? No, wait. Yeah, right. Hope I didn't mess that up, because I speak to a couple doctors. You can only finance a house with a mortgage. Believe me, I know firsthand. Exactly. I've always been a confident dude, right? Always been a confident dude, right? I've never been a follower, none. But when I got out of debt, let me tell you guys something, especially as men. When they talk about alpha males, right? Usually when you hear alpha male, you think, oh, he's a confident dude. He looks good, whatever, right? You just think that. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't really have nothing to do with that. When I got out of debt, there's a such thing as a debt-free alpha male. I'm gonna just tell you guys that. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. There's such thing as a debt-free alpha male. My energy and confidence has went through the roof, because I know what it took, what I had to do to sacrifice to get on this mic to you, what I'm talking to you guys today. Remember, this is the wonderful thing about my gift. Everything I say, I can prove it. I can prove it. And in the back of your mind, if you disagree with the calculator, the majority of people are not going to say it. But in the back of your mind, you're going to be looking at the calculator and say to yourself, why am I disagreeing with the calculator? Because capitalism is psychological. You cannot see negative numbers psychologically. I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you what it is, and you still don't believe me. You know why? Because the program is strong. I respect the program. Do you guys understand that? I know that the housing market couldn't exist if debt slaves knew you can't buy a house with a mortgage. The housing market couldn't exist. So I respect the housing market. Millions of people believe they're homeowners. Millions of people refinance the house 2, 3, 4 times and still believe they're homeowners. Can you believe that? That is powerful. That kind of shit demands respect. What's up? $5 super chat from HQ. Hello, LJ. Hope you good. Finally, we get a stream. Been a while. Yeah, but I'm coming to the end of it. I'm almost at the end of it. Exactly, Lesson Burn. You're right. But when you say that, Lesson Burn, you can't say that to an alpha male that's in debt. He won't even understand what you're talking about. What do you mean? Oh, nigga, I get women and bitches and this and that. No, are you in debt? Yeah, you're not. I promise you're not. It's totally for the men. I'm telling you, it's totally different. You have a totally different energy, and I'm telling you, women pick up on it. And I'm not saying this to be a pickup artist or not. I'm just telling you something. It's different. Because I know what it took to get here, to find this solution, something that I know millions of people don't know. Millions. None of this could exist without credit cards, credit card debt, car loan debt, the car industry. Do you guys know the car industry couldn't exist without you? If you guys wasn't financing cars, it couldn't exist. That demands respect. I look at places like, when I look at CarMax now, how many places they have, and their lots look like football fields. Do you know why they're so big? Because people are financing cars. Man. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up here. I have to tell you what happened to me yesterday when I used the calculator to finally add up how much I financed the house the bank owns. I used to live in cost that I no longer have. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Access to. Sure does. You know what? You know, so crazy. I was surprised. People did not know refinancing a house resets the 30-year clock. That blew me away. I was like, wait a minute, you didn't know that? This is what, like, when I stand back and look at the work of the bank, it's like a Picasso painting. They reach out to the person. Hey, you have equity in a house. You have equity. They just say you do. No one, just because you don't even know you don't own a house, but you believe you do. Hey, take advantage of this equity, and then you can pay off those cars, and you can pay off your credit cards, so you can have more money at the end of each month. You won't have no car payments. You won't have no credit card payments. It's like, what? And then they go, hell yeah, let's do that. So because the cards and credit cards are more risk for the bank. But if they can get them to pay off that stuff with the money from the house, is less risk for them. The person in the house actually believes they paid off the bank's cars and the bank's credit cards with money from the bank's house. That's like I have to respect that. I have to fully wow, how long did it take you guys to make them believe that? And then charge them for doing it. Because refinancing a house is not free. Then they charge them for filing the paperwork to do that, to get more money. And then on top, listen, not only charge them to do it, charge you guys to do it, make you pay interest on it. And then you guys drive around thinking you pay with a paid off car. Yeah, the car's paid off. They don't want no depreciating risk factor on their book sheets. It's yours now. Take that shit. They know with the credit cards, just because you guys pay off the credit cards, you're not going to cut them up. You're going to keep them just for what? Emergencies. They know you're going to do that. They know you ain't cutting up no credit cards. And guess what? You're going to use them again because you're always going to come up with an emergency vacation, emergency purse, emergency shoes, emergency dishes, emergency dishwasher, emergency TV, a refrigerator with a TV screen in them. Yes, you will. You see how shit like that demands respect. That demands it. It actually commands it. And remember, I just found that capitalism is like, and you guys don't really even get it, right? It doesn't matter which country you go to. Any country I go to, I have no problem because as long as I know it's capitalism, cool. That's all I need to know. They just copy from each other. Hey, US has, listen, okay, let me give you an example. US has a student loan debt problem. UK has a student debt problem. Canada has a student debt problem. What makes them all connect to have the problem? They're all capitalists. That's how it works. Hey, how much money you guys making for? Oh, we got 1.7 trillion of them, 44. We own 44,000 of them, 44 million of them, and they're $1.7 trillion into us. What about you? You just go to each country and see, and they say, oh, okay. Obviously, it works. Because you guys don't know. Once you sign up for student loan debt, they tell you in the paperwork, you're never getting out, and you have to pay us. You got to pay us back plus interest, and there is no way out of this but to pay us back. Nick says, because we're trained to focus on the equity and the interest rate. It's one big, you know what? And like I said, it's supposed to be like that. Do you guys know, listen, debt slaves, do you guys know the stock market couldn't exist without you? You are the stock. You're just giving the big boys money to create to live their dreams, but you guys don't know you don't have no money, so you're indirectly borrowing from the bank and giving it to them. It couldn't exist without you. And when I look at the stock market, it commands respect, commands it. Wow. Okay. Cool. Man, I don't know how you did that. And the biggest one of all, what you guys really don't know, because you don't know that you don't know currency exists for you. How they came up with cryptocurrency, that is a masterpiece. That is an absolute masterpiece. It's like a unregulated stock market for people that understand money with no risk to make millions. You guys don't, if you don't know paper money don't exist for you, imagine what they're going to do with you guys with cryptocurrency. You guys don't even know. The banks invented that shit. Central banks. You think you're investing in something while having a mortgage. Do you understand that? If you have a mortgage, you cannot invest in anything. You have a mortgage. But since you believe that you can invest in cryptocurrency while having a mortgage while having a mortgage with student loans that are older than your mortgage, you think you're investing in cryptocurrency. That's why you believe in cryptocurrency. Do you understand? It don't take 30 years to pay off a house. Who told you that? Who told you to take 30 years to pay off a house? Who said that? The banks? Your friends. All the people around you that have 30-year mortgages. That's who's telling you that. Of course they're telling you that. They have 30-year mortgages. They think it's normal to refinance a house 3 or 4 times. They believe that it's okay to have 2 mortgages on one house. Do you understand? It could not exist without them. Do you want to be that? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm 52. If I would have woke up at this age, or even 60, woke up and know what, that would be a big problem for me. I couldn't imagine waking up at 60 and then really realizing that I have $100,000 in student loan debt at age 60. Do you understand what that would do to me mentally? And the only reason why you don't know that And the reason why you don't know millions of people are in that situation right now, of course they are. Of course they are. Because you don't know, you don't own yourself. As long as you have student, let me put it this way, and then I got to get out of here. As long as you don't know that you can never own yourself while having student loan debt, you'll never know what you'll never know this feeling. You'll never know what I'm talking about. You'll never know what true freedom feels like. You'll never know because you can't. The only way you can know what I'm talking about here, step one, you have to own yourself first. You own yourself first, and then you turn and look at cryptocurrency. You'll see it for what it is. Oh, wow, that's free reign. Hell yeah. The majority of people in cryptocurrency are debt slaves. They don't know they're in there. They don't know they're investing with nothing, with no money. They don't know that. They don't know that they cannot do that. And then you come on this side and understand how it works. You'll know exactly what to do, when to do it, whatever. You'll know exactly what to do because they don't know. You'll know the true purpose of taxes. You'll know not to cheat. Don't do tax evasion or none of that stupid shit. And don't associate yourself anywhere near anybody that does. You stay far away from them. Oh man, I think I can get a little extra money if I just claim this. I'll see you later. Goodbye, cheater. Why? You cheating on your taxes. I don't hang around people like that. Why not? Because you don't have to. This is a financial superpower, personal finance super. Nobody will be able to mess with you. Nobody. And so you guys understand. If you're new to the channel, I want you guys to understand. I'm telling you now before I'm big. So not to brag. I'm trying to show you what's possible when you own yourself first. What do you think about the upcoming Metaverse takeover? First of all, I think it's absolutely brilliant. Because you guys don't really understand what's about to happen now. Like, in my opinion, like everything is delivery. Obesity is about to go through the fucking roof. Obesity is foods delivered, groceries delivered. You don't even have to go through a fast food drive-through anymore. People deliver it for you. You don't have to do no exercise. People are now working from home. They don't have to go anywhere. Obesity is about to go through the roof. And guess what? They're not going to want to take pictures of themselves no more. And guess what? That's where Metaverse comes in. You can make yourself look happy, be in a world outside of your own world. Can you imagine the world you can create? Because that's the world you want, but your real world, as soon as you shut down the Metaverse, turn off the computer, whatever he does, you go back into your world. Everybody, have you noticed like everybody's avatar on Facebook is smiling and happy? Every time you see the avatar, nobody's like that every time. Nobody's like that every time. What do you mean? You're happy every day? That's not true. Or you'll see somebody on Facebook always posting how happy we're such a happy couple. Why are you telling us every day? I'm happy. I don't post it every day. So you guys have good post about the bad times when oh, wait a minute, you don't have none according to your Facebook. The avatar is going to change everything. He already slowly introduced that shit into the Facebook. You know how many people have avatars as their pictures now? Smiling, looking good, always happy. All right, whatever. Congratulations. The Metaverse is absolutely brilliant. They're going to be buying and selling fake clothes, digital clothes. They're going to make a killing off of debt slaves. Killing. People are going to be creating worlds that they wish they had when they could just take a step back and create it themselves by first owning themselves. I'm creating my world right now live before any of you before it even happens. I'm telling you right now before it happens, so you guys don't think once Tony Robbins hears me speak, he's going to reach out to me. Let me say that one more time. Once Tony Robbins hears me speak, he is going to reach out to me. Nope, not even going outside no more. It's absolutely brilliant. I love the way people that understand money, understand how you guys work, and they capitalize on it and create generational wealth. I love the way he just slowly introduced it. People start switching over to the avatars. Hey, you get your avatar yet? They all get, and all the avatars are happy and smiling, all of them. Get them close enough to look like you and like, cool, that's me. And they don't even use pictures no more. Obesity is about to go through the roof. Avatars are going to be used more, and they're going to create worlds where nobody's fat, unhappy. Everything's always going to be happy. None of that is true. As soon as you turn on, all they got to do is close the computer and say, is your personal world right now, when you close down your phone and computer, is your world like that right now? Yeah, then that world is definitely not real. Absolutely brilliant. I love watching generational wealth work. Just like I told you earlier, generational wealth bought James Brown estate for 90 million. That's nothing. Remember, they bought it for you know what kind of money you have to buy something that you don't actually need? Now it's part of their generational wealth. Their great grandchildren will be able to live off of James Brown's work. Who's James Brown? I don't know. Like the Disney animation of the future when everybody is bald and lazy. Yeah, I keep telling you guys. I mean, when you step outside the debt matrix, you can see obesity is about to go through the roof. Nobody has to leave their home anymore to do damn near anything. Everything is delivered. Pharmacy pills, food, groceries, fast food. People pay more for they pay more for the delivery of fast food than the fast food itself. Do you guys get that? They pay more for the delivery of fast food than the fast food itself. Obesity is about to go through the roof. Man. And when you come out here and own yourself, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll know exactly who to listen to, who not to listen to. Like, why do you guys think, I'm gonna give you an example, okay, of outside the debt matrix so you can understand. Why do you think gossip is so popular? Gossip sites, gossip channels. Why do you think that's so popular? It's allowed people to escape their lives for that time limit. They get out of their lives because if they're focused on somebody else's life, they're not focused on theirs. They get to escape their life temporarily. That's why it's so popular. And you got so many gossip channels out there. You can keep yourself out of your world for hours, all day, every day. You still don't believe me? Like when you go out and about, like when you go into a crowded something or whatever, right? Leave your phone in the car. If you can, leave your phone in the car and just watch how many people are just walking around like zombies with their faces aimed in their phones everywhere. Not paying attention to nothing around them. Because have you noticed when you look at your phone, right? Your peripheral vision is gone. Have you noticed that? Like if you're driving and you're looking at a text, you can't see your peripheral vision doesn't even work. Doesn't even work. That tells you right there, you don't see nothing going on around you, nothing. Just like the movie The Matrix, it's amazing to watch. You guys don't even get it. It's amazing. Just being programmed, hey, 40-year mortgages, beg for forgiveness, put your house in the I mean, I saw a video the other day, somebody said, put your student loans in student loan forgiveness and tell them you're going to pay them $1. That way it'll show $1 on your credit report. That way you can finance for a house. Don't you think the bank knows what you're doing? When you go get a mortgage and your student loan debt shows $1, you pay $1 a month, they know who you are. You're a debt slave trying to buy a house while having student loan debt. And you're also telling them that you don't plan, if you're paying $1, you're telling the bank that you don't plan on ever paying back your student loans your entire life. That means you're going to have them your entire life, which in turns means that you're never going to pay off this house and the bank will own it the whole time that you're in it. All by looking at your credit report. Ain't that bananas? You guys don't know that, debt slaves. You guys don't know that. I can go on for hours, but I can't. Exactly, Malika. That's crazy. The food be 8 and delivery be 14. Trusting anybody go pick it up? Hell no, I ain't doing none of that. None of that. First of all, I barely even go to a fast food restaurant. I'm not gonna pay more for the fast food. On top of that, I ain't doing it. Exactly, John. That was a documentary. I remember watching that back in '99. I remember saying to myself in the theater, I went to the theater to watch it. I remember saying to myself, what if that's real? But your mind gets mixed because when you're watching the movie, right, you forget that it's a movie, right? You'll see them do things that are physically impossible. But instead of watching the movie and saying, well, let me just negate that because you can't run along walls, you can't fly and jump on the ground and bounce off, you can't do that. So that's obviously part of the movie, right? But sometimes if you don't think about it, you're like, well, it can't be real. Look what they're doing. They're flying all over the place and stopping bullets and ditching bullets, and you put it out of your brain because you think that's impossible. No, that's part of the movie. The movie is doing that. But whenever they go places and people are walking around them and don't see them, that's what it's like to be outside the debt matrix. You guys can't see us. We can see you. We can listen to you. You think you bring out your financial portfolios and you got a list of things in there, and they're all owned. Everything in your financial portfolio is owned by the bank, and you don't even know that. Hey, yeah, I own 5 houses and this and that. They got mortgages on them. Yeah, you don't own shit. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, they bring in this much profit each. I have a mortgage of 1,000, but I charge each renter a 2,000. I'm making $1,000 profit. Wait a minute, you think you had to borrow the money to buy the houses, but you think you're going to profit before the bank is paid back their money? Stop talking like that. Oh yeah, so they each profit 1,000. I put that in my portfolio, and then oh my God, the bank just financially abuses you. Just imagine bringing your financial portfolio to the bank that owns everything in your financial portfolio, and you're telling them that you're making a profit. They're probably just laughing at you. Hey, sir, we'll be right back, and they probably go in the back room cracking up. This dude think he owns all this stuff in his financial portfolio. He don't even know we own his financial portfolio. We about to max his ass out. And then we're going to give him the reason, the debt to income ratio. This is why you can't, we're not going to loan you any more money because of this shit we made up right here. It's called the debt to income ratio. This tells us that we have drained every penny out of you. And then they toss you to the subprime sharks. That's when they toss you to buy now, pay here, payday loans, get your check, get your money before your check. Those are the subprime sharks. Those are the ones that pick the remainder of your financial bones like piranha. I love this gift, man. And as you guys see my career climb, you guys are going to know, guys are going to clearly see I will never abuse this gift ever, ever. You guys will never see me caught up in some headlines. He lied about this. He didn't say that. I don't care. They can look forever. They're not going to find shit. I was prepared for this. I want you guys to understand this. I was prepared for it. My gift wasn't revealed to me until I was ready for it, until I was mature to handle it and not abuse it. Because you guys don't even know. I could financially abuse you debt slaves legally. I don't have to do anything illegal to take money from you. That can be done legally. You guys are financing taxes. Why would I have to steal from people that finance taxes? Like, and I know you guys hear me say that. Hey, what does that mean? Here, I'll show you, because you guys know I mathematically prove everything I'm saying. You go on a car lot, you ask to finance a car. That's mistake number one. You telling whoever's they're about to financially abuse you because only debt slaves finance cars. If you don't have the money for the car, guess what else you don't have the money for? Like, if say like the car was $30,000 plus tax, the 30,000 came up to 35,000. If you don't have the 30,000, you don't have the 5,000. So you're financing the price of the car and the $5,000 in taxes. You're financing taxes. Do you understand that? Why would you have to steal from people that are financing taxes? You don't. They're stealing from themselves, and you're just gonna financially abuse them more. Come on, man. That's not necessary to steal from debt slaves. LJ, you crack me up the way you say you don't own sugar honey iced tea. you don't own sugar honey iced tea. Okay, can you go into detail about how you promise not to abuse your gifts? When I say not abuse my gift, abuse of my gift would be lying to you guys about something that I did in my past. Say I didn't do this, or I went to jail for that and didn't tell. That's to me is abuse, because it took me years for you guys to earn my trust. And I would hate to get to a certain point in my career, because you got to remember, the bigger I get, they're going to start going through my shit with a fine tooth comb, but it doesn't matter because ain't shit there. Or be with my woman, get married, and all of a sudden you guys find out that I was fucking around on my wife or something. That's never going to happen, ever. I choose that. I choose all that. And I choose not to abuse anything. If I did any of that, that would be abuse, lie to the people that follow me, do things that would hurt my life the way it is now. I choose not to let that happen. $30-year mortgage, 3% on $250,000. You're paying $129,000 in interest, $250K house. You're paying total of and even with, you guys got to remember that even with that, when you add up those numbers, debt slaves will never even get close to that amount of money, paying the bank back that amount of money. That is the end result. If they went all the way to the end, yes. But debt slaves they're not going 30 years in a house. They're not. And even the young people, like right now, they're doing 40-year mortgages, okay? 40 years. A young person doesn't even say, like in your late 20s, 30s, you're thinking about buying a house, and they talk about a 30-year mortgage. Let's go with 30-year mortgage, right? You're sitting down in the bank's office and you're about to say, hey, yeah, I'm about to sign this 30-year mortgage. They don't take a step back and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm 30 right now. You mean to tell me I won't have this house paid off until I'm 60? I mean, that's all you got to do is sit back and think. 60, I'm going to pay this house off when I'm 60. How much do I make now? 50,000. The house is how much? 300,000. And you just divide that by 30. You're thinking, I'm only going to pay that amount of money? Divide 300,000 by 30. That's how much I'm going to pay a year? Why would I only pay that little bit amount of money? I don't know. Why would you do that? Who told you to do that? The bank? It don't take 30 years to pay off a house. Now these youngsters are going to be taking 40 years to pay off a house. I think it was Robert that sent me this this article where the youngsters are now teaming up and all jumping, 3-4 people getting on the mortgage of one house. Do you know how much the banks love that? They're spreading that risk. Now, instead of having one person that defaults on the home mortgage or not pay it, they got 4 people to come after. These young people really, and this is a 30-year mortgage. These young people really believe that they're going to stay together 30 years together in one house. Come on, man. Come on. It's going to be a disaster when that break. Somebody's going to lose a job. I can't pay my portion. I ain't got the money. Oh, I want to move my girlfriend in. I want cats and dogs. Oh my God. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Well, it's time for me to get off. Thank you everybody for joining. I will be on tomorrow for Q&A Sunday. So be looking out for me. I don't know what time yet, but for sure I'll be on it. And if you got some questions, queue up your questions, and then I'll be putting out the link, and then you guys can come up and ask me some questions. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, or still early morning, but have a good one. Later.